Let's go Browns! Is there a real chance the Browns could sign one of the NFL's most dynamic young wide receivers? The rumors aren't just whispers anymore. They're getting louder. Reports from Sports Illustrated, Yahoo Sports, and ESPN Cleveland point to an explosive possibility. The Browns making a big move for the former Ohio State Buckeye and current Jets star. This isn't just fan speculation anymore. It's becoming a real buzz with real implications. And Browns fans, this could be a franchise-changing move. Before we dive into everything, from the trade buzz, the contract drama, to the Shedeur Sanders connection no one's talking about, click the like button if you're excited about the Cleveland Browns behind-the-scenes movement. And if possible, let me know. Do you think the Browns should make the move now or wait for the perfect moment? Either way, what you're about to hear might be the biggest Browns rumor of the season. What if I told you that Garrett Wilson, yes, that Garrett Wilson, might be donning orange and brown in the near future? The Cleveland Browns are being linked to one of the NFL's most electrifying young receivers, Garrett Wilson. That's right, the same Garrett Wilson who's been racking up 1,000-yard seasons regardless of who throws him in New York. The same former Buckeye Browns fans have admired since his college days. Let's talk about why this makes sense. The Browns currently have one of the most anemic passing attacks in the NFL. They have the third fewest passing yards, at just 178.3 per game. They have only 5 passing touchdowns all year, and a completion percentage of just 58.8%. This is a playoff football. This isn't even a functional offense. And with Jerry Jeudy struggling to regain form, Cedric Tillman on injured reserve, and DeAndre Carter out for weeks, this receiving core is worn down and underperforming. Cleveland doesn't just want a wide receiver, they need one. Badly. Enter Garrett Wilson. He's not just productive, he's elite. Despite the Jets being a complete mess, despite a carousel of quarterbacks throwing him the ball, Wilson keeps delivering. Nearly 400 yards and 4 touchdowns already this season, and that's with Justin Fields, and now likely Tyrod Taylor, throwing him the ball. Garrett Wilson is one of the few wide receivers in the NFL who can rack up 1,000 yards with almost anyone at the helm. That kind of consistency is rare, and exactly what Cleveland needs to save this offense. But what makes this even more intriguing? Garrett Wilson is a known fan of Shedeur Sanders. Yes, that's Shedeur Sanders, the Browns' young quarterback prospect. Wilson even tweeted years ago that, "Bro, Shador is one of them ones at QB. Everything looks easy." He's even done Shador's signature watch celebration on the field. That's not just admiration. That's chemistry waiting to happen. And while Shador isn't starting yet, the draw of playing with him could make Cleveland an appealing destination when the time comes. 2 Garretts in Cleveland, Garrett Wilson and Myles Garrett, that's box office. Now, we've all seen Wilson's frustration boiling over in New York. In London, he was yelling at coaches on the sideline, furious over a botched 2-minute drill. Post-game, he let his disappointment be known. He's fed up. The Jets are winless at 0-7, completely out of contention. They're clear sellers at the trade deadline. They're not hiding it. And while Yahoo Sports jokingly called the idea of this trade so dumb it's brilliant, from a Cleveland perspective, it's just plain brilliant. The only question is, would New York actually do it? Unfortunately, that's where things get tricky. Garrett Wilson is signed to a massive 4-year, $130 million contract. $90 million of that is guaranteed. Trading him right now would saddle the Jets with over $41 million in dead cap space. That's the kind of financial penalty that makes front offices lose sleep. Even if it's a post-June 1 trade and they spread the hit over 2 years, it's still brutal. And for what? To give away arguably their best player? Doesn't make sense unless Wilson forces their hand. Which brings us back to the how. What would it take to actually get Garrett Wilson in a Browns uniform? Sports Illustrated floated the idea that Cleveland might be able to keep both their first-round picks and still get Wilson. But let's be real. That's just not happening. If we're being honest, there's no way the Jets are giving up a generational receiver without at least one premium pick, if not more. And yet, Andrew Berry has been sniffing around. There's chatter out there, real chatter, and Cleveland has cap space, 6th most in the NFL. In fact, this isn't just a dream. There's a financial path to make this work. Cleveland sports radio legend Tony Rizzo even said, "I'd drive to New York to get him myself." That's how desperate Browns fans are to see an elite WR in orange and brown again. But desperation doesn't equal deals. So unless Garrett Wilson becomes so unhappy that he pulls a Le'Veon Bell and sits out, and he hasn't indicated he's ready to go that far, the Jets aren't likely to pull the trigger now. It would just be too painful for them financially and too big a blow to their already struggling franchise. Let's not sugarcoat it. Patience isn't exactly something Cleveland fans have been rewarded for over the years. But this situation with Garrett Wilson might demand just that. Because while the contract implications make an immediate trade nearly impossible, the future holds something much more strategic. And if Andrew Berry plays this right, it could lead to the biggest offensive spark the Browns have had in a generation. Now, let's imagine 2 scenarios. Scenario Scenario 1. The Browns somehow pull the trigger this season. They package a first-rounder, maybe a second, and throw in a key defensive piece or a younger player to sweeten the deal. It's expensive, it's risky, but it's a move that instantly transforms the offense. Suddenly, you're talking about a unit with Garrett Wilson on one side, Amari Cooper still producing, David Njoku playing the best football of his career, and potentially Shedeur Sanders waiting in the wings as the future of the franchise. The Browns instantly become contenders with a top-tier receiver core, even if the quarterback situation isn't fully ironed out yet. But then there's scenario 2, the one that seems far more likely. Garrett Wilson stays in New York for now, rides out at least another season, maybe 2, while the Jets continue to rebuild and recalibrate. Meanwhile, the Browns develop Shedeur Sanders. They give him time to learn the system, get reps with the first team, build timing with receivers, and mature into the role. And when the Jets are finally ready to offload Wilson, whether due to cap flexibility, trade demand, or just a mutual parting of ways, Cleveland is ready with cap space, picks, and most importantly, a quarterback Wilson is already a fan of. It's almost poetic. Garrett Wilson, an Ohio native, Buckeye legend, gets to come back home to Cleveland and pair with a quarterback he respects, in front of a fan base that would embrace him like a returning hero. And this isn't just fantasy, the groundwork is already there. Wilson's affinity for Sanders, Cleveland's need for a WR1, Barry's strategic cap maneuvers. This isn't just noise, it's foreshadowing. And while we're at it, let's not ignore the underlying narrative building around Shedeur Sanders himself. The team isn't giving him any reps with the first team offense. None, which is concerning, especially if he's supposed to step in if Gabriel gets hurt. What's the plan here? Just throw him out there cold? No chemistry, no timing, just vibes? That's not how you develop a franchise quarterback. And if Sanders truly is the future, if he's the guy this front office is hitching its wagon to, then it's time to start acting like it. Give him reps, give him prep, get him ready. Because if he's good, the league is going to take notice. Players are going to want to play with him. Garrett Wilson already does. That's not something you can force. That kind of admiration from a star wide receiver is earned. And it's rare. If Shedeur is the truth, Wilson could be just the beginning. A true WR1 who brings swagger, production, and leadership to a room that desperately needs it. Remember, Wilson's a guy who doesn't just run routes. He changes games. That back of the end zone one-hander in prime time? That's the kind of play that lives in highlight reels forever. That's the kind of moment that puts a team on the map. And Cleveland has waited far too long for a player like that to wear orange and brown. So if you're asking me whether the Browns should be all in on Garrett Wilson, absolutely. Whether it's this season or in 2026, the target remains the same. Because Garrett Wilson isn't just another name. He's the name, a game changer, a proven talent who can elevate this entire offense. And whether it's with Deshaun Watson for the short term or Shedeur Sanders for the long haul, Cleveland needs a receiver like this. No more stopgaps. No more maybe guys. It's time for a sure thing. We've got the cap space. We've got the front office creativity. We might just have the quarterback he believes in. Now it's up to the Browns to make it happen, whether by miracle at the trade deadline or with a long-term plan that turns fantasy into reality. So tell me, Browns fans, is Garrett Wilson worth the wait? Or should Barry push all the chips in right now and try to pull off a blockbuster before the trade window closes? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for daily Browns coverage. Hit that like button, share this video with your fellow fans, and click the video on screen right now for more Browns news and rumors. You're not going to find this kind of coverage anywhere else. The breaking stories, the bold predictions, the real talk. This is where it all happens. Stay locked in with the Browns Report.